A Nazi guard at Stalag 9B gave orders in 1944 to separate black American prisoners for reduced rations. One prisoner responded in flawless German with a perfect Bavarian accent. The guard stood there completely stunned. According to everything he'd been taught, this wasn't supposed to be possible. Black people were intellectually inferior, incapable of higher education. Yet this man was speaking better German than he was. This is the brutal story of how educated black POWs accidentally shattered Nazi racial theory. One conversation at a time. Before we continue, subscribe to my channel for more fascinating insights and forgotten moments from World War II. When the 333rd Field Artillery Battalion got captured during the Battle of the Bulge in December 1944, German commanders expected what their propaganda promised. Blank stares, confusion, soldiers who could barely follow basic commands. Instead, they got college graduates from Tuskegee Institute, high school teachers who specialized in German literature, engineers who could explain complex mechanical systems in technical German. The interrogators had no idea what hit them. The separation order came fast. German intelligence observed American military segregation and decided to mirror it. Black prisoners got reduced rations, no Red Cross packages, no standard medical care. The justification was simple in their minds. If America itself segregated these soldiers, they must be inferior. But when interrogations actually began, the entire system started crumbling. German interrogators sat down expecting easy sessions. They got prisoners who responded fluently in German, French, and Italian. Some corrected their interrogators' grammar during questioning. Others corrected pronunciation. Intelligence reports noted, with visible shock, that some black POWs had education levels superior to many German officers. One report marked prisoner education claims as requires verification because they simply couldn't believe it. Every single claim checked out as true. German interrogators sat down expecting easy sessions. They got prisoners who responded fluently in German, French, and Italian. Some corrected their interrogators' grammar during questioning. Others corrected pronunciation. Intelligence reports noted, with visible shock, that some black POWs had education levels superior to many German officers. One report marked prisoner education claims as requires verification because they simply couldn't believe it. Every single claim checked out as true. The prisoners had technical manuals and could discuss Wehrmacht tactical doctrine with sophisticated understanding. They quoted German poets like Schiller and Heine from memory. They analyzed Prussian military reforms in detail. Camp engineers verified their technical knowledge as professional and accurate. This wasn't surface-level classroom German. Some prisoners spoke regional dialects, suggesting deep cultural immersion. Many had been raised abroad or were multilingual from childhood. For guards raised on Nazi ideology, this created savage cognitive dissonance. Everything they believed was being contradicted daily. Some younger guards resolved this by claiming the prisoners were exceptions or had mixed ancestry. Others started questioning whether their entire worldview was built on lies. Private diaries from German guards show them wrestling with this contradiction. By March 1945, some writings expressed a horrifying realization that their government had lied to them about everything. The SS and hardcore Nazis responded with denial. They claimed prisoners were lying or parroting Allied propaganda. One suppressed intelligence report from 1945 concluded that racial theory was fundamentally flawed, but it went nowhere. Dedicated Nazi commandants refused to acknowledge the contradiction even during surrender. But here's where survival instincts kicked in. The segregated US military had accidentally concentrated educated black men into specific support units. But here's where survival instincts kicked in. The segregated US military had accidentally concentrated educated black men into specific support units. When entire units got captured, the average education level was incredibly high. German camp administrators discovered they needed translators far less than expected. Standard interrogation procedures, designed for minimally educated prisoners, failed spectacularly. Then something bizarre happened. Practical necessity crushed ideology. Black POWs became translators and administrators within the camps because they were simply better at it. Camp commandants initially objected. This violated Nazi racial policy at every level. But the black translators were more reliable, more efficient, and camps actually ran smoother. So black prisoners started issuing orders to German guards. They translated Wehrmacht directives. Their military bearing and discipline made them effective intermediaries. Guards who believed in racial hierarchy found themselves taking orders from black prisoners. For the prisoners, this wasn't about proving anything. Post-war interviews revealed they were just being themselves, but their language skills became literal survival tools. German speakers negotiated with guards for extra food. They cited Geneva Convention articles in formal German to argue for better treatment. Policy rarely changed, but these arguments could shame individual guards into providing small extras. Prisoners with engineering knowledge secured assignments to workshops where food and conditions were better. They deliberately worked slowly or miscalibrated equipment to sabotage war production. Some built rapport with older guards by discussing Prussian traditions or World War I experiences. These conversations humanized them. Those guards became more likely to provide extra food or leniency. Understanding military protocol let prisoners cite specific regulations when guards overstepped. They prevented unauthorized executions by formally demanding matters be referred to camp commandants. They eavesdropped on guard conversations for intelligence about camp security and frontline news. Knowing Germany was collapsing helped them prepare for liberation and avoid deadly death marches. The winter of 1944 to 1945 was nightmare brutal. Reduced rations placed black POWs at extreme risk of starvation. The systematic denial of medical care led to preventable deaths. Language skills to argue for medical attention usually failed, but prisoners kept trying. For them, these administrative roles offered a slight buffer against the worst camp brutalities. During liberation, some German guards apologized to black POWs for treatment based on false beliefs. Some said learning the truth was a gift, though one that came too late. A few carried their transformed views into post-war Germany and became advocates for racial equality. Others reverted to prejudice once daily evidence of prisoner capabilities disappeared. The prisoners returned to a segregated America. They faced the same racism they'd challenged in German camps. Denied voting rights. Denied employment despite proven capabilities and service. They'd demonstrated that intelligence isn't determined by skin color. They'd shown racist ideology can't survive sustained contact with reality. They'd displayed restraint and used their skills to help fellow captives rather than incite conflict. They'd maintained humanity in a system designed to destroy it. This story remains a lesser-known chapter of World War II. It challenges the simple narrative of good versus evil powers. It exposes the shared sin of institutional racism in both German and American military systems. The prisoner's legacy is a testament to human resilience against profound injustice. If this story stunned you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who thinks World War II history has no more surprises left. Because the most powerful stories are the ones we forgot to tell.